Hello, my name is Candace, and today we're going to be talking about binge drinking and what exactly it is and ways we can prevent it, and just some details about it that will be very helpful for those who need this information. And so today I made some little cards here, and we're going to discuss exactly and go into a little bit of detail exactly what binge drinking is. So obviously, first question: binge drinking. What is it exactly? Well, binge drinking can be described as a serious but preventable public health problem in our society today. Binge drinking is, my papers up here, is a pattern of drinking that brings the blood alcohol level over the legal limit, which is 0.08 or higher. Usually this happens in a matter of 2 hours. For men, it is drinking 5 or more drinks within a couple of hours. For women, since their body mass concentration is a little bit lower than men's, this includes them having 4 or more drinks within 2 hours. So obviously that's kind of our definition of binge drinking. And our next kind of thing we're going to discuss is who binge drinks. Well, it is men and women on both hands as well. But the percentages are a little bit different. So, most people, which is not surprising in our society today, that younger adults from the ages of 18 to 34 binge drink. More than 50% by those who actually are 35 years or older. But not surprising that young adults, the ages of 18 and 34, binge drink. Just due to being at in college parties, and obviously being 18 years old, you would think they would be not able to drink, but of course they can get those individuals to buy drinks for them. So next we're going to discuss about some more little percentages here. Binge drinking, like I said, is common. It's common in households with incomes of $75,000 or higher, and also higher education levels, obviously just because of having more money, having more access to things, and being able to buy things more, and like I said, at a higher price, and buy more of quantities at a higher price. So, but 90% of adults who binge drink excessively report binge drinking in the past 30 days. So clearly we can see that there is men and women both binge drink, and obviously anybody can do it, and does not matter really the age, but there's just the potential, like I said, for younger adults and those who have higher, obviously, incomes, because they can afford more drinks, obviously because of money. Binge drinking. Obviously, there are some risks that come with binge drinking, obviously just with any kind of substance use. So, these are just, I listed just some of the risks that could potentially happen when people binge drink. And again, these are just a few of them. The risks include, obviously, I put number 1 as car crashes, falls, burns, alcohol poisoning, of course, because drinking excessively can cause your body to do it. Obviously, your body wasn't meant to take but so much alcohol, and it can only take so much. Violence, that could mean partner violence, domestic violence, any kind of violence. We also have homicides, of course. You have the risk of STDs, of course, when you're intoxicated. In my experience, when you're intoxicated, you obviously do things that you should not be doing, and you don't think about the consequences until after you are sobered up. And that can also lead to unplanned pregnancy, birth defects, or fetal alcohol syndrome, because you may not know you've been pregnant, because again, the alcohol messes up your judgment. Some other risks that I also included for binge drinking includes memory and learning problems. Those who drink a lot, obviously you have the risk of stroke, heart disease, liver disease, high blood pressure, of course. And these, I guess, are just, as I said, mentioned earlier, these are just a few of the risks that can come from binge drinking if you do it excessively and in high quantity amounts. So, the next little topic we're going to discuss, obviously, since we've discussed the risk, binge drinking, obviously, I put this in green because it's money. Binge drinking costs everyone. And according to the statistics, it cost the United States $249 billion in 2010, which resulted in loss in the workplace, productivity, healthcare, criminal justice, and so much more, obviously. But obviously, binge drinking costs lots of money to do. Now, the big topic here at hand, preventing binge drinking. How can we do it? Well, there are several steps that we can take as individuals and as a society to do so. First, there is, if you know somebody that binge drinks, being in the substance abuse world here and going in this field, the best intervention for substance abuse drinking is evidence-based interventions. And these are my little people I drew down here just because it's evidence-based interventions, okay? Hope you like my little stick figures there. Okay. So, prevention. What can we do as just a society as a whole to prevent binge drinking? Here are just a few. Pricing strategies, increased taxes on binge drinking or in drinking in general, so it costs more, so people maybe hopefully will not buy an excessive amount or not be able to afford that much because we have increased the taxes. So pricing strategies is a big one. Next, holding alcohol retailers responsible. What this means is holding alcohol retailers responsible is not just for those over the age of 21, but for those under the age of 21 who actually get harmed by the illegal sales to minors, which we know happens on an everyday basis, that minors are all the time getting alcohol or getting friends or family or those buy alcohol for them. So we also need to be aware of that because that happens a lot too. And we also, like I said, we see it on a daily basis, those older than 21 going to get alcohol for younger adults under the age of 21. That could be family, that could be older friends. We see that a lot. So those individuals should be held some type of accountability for doing that or causing any kind of harm that comes upon them. Next, we should be enforcing laws consistently. And next is the restricting access on certain days and hours of alcohol sales to make it easier or a little bit easier harder, for those to purchase alcohol. Instead of saying you can purchase alcohol from 8 to 5, you will only be able to purchase it from like 8 to 12, which limits a lot of people's access to it. Again, that's just as a society as a whole of what we can do to prevent it, binge drinking. But do your part. Do your part in prevention. You can. So we discussed what we can do as a society. What can you do as an individual to prevent binge drinking? Well, my next little last slide that I have here is choose not to drink too much and help others not to do it. I put that one first because we can be a good influence on our younger adults or either just a good influence on anybody in society if we choose to drink. If we do drink responsibly and know the limit that your body can take, and don't be influencing others to do so. We should also follow the United States dietary guidelines and do moderate consumption. So the dietary guidelines basically say, you have your body mass, your body weight, you can only take so much alcohol in your body until, like, obviously you become intoxicated. So you want to make sure you know your limit and drink. If you do drink, drink moderately and don't drink above the limit to get you excessively drunk. And we also need to support effective community strategies to prevent excessive alcohol use. Next, don't serve or provide alcohol to those under 21 or others that should not be drinking in general because of health issues. Again, I reiterate to you, we should not be providing alcohol to minors. Those individuals that are purchasing alcohol for those under the age of 21 or getting alcohol for those under the age of 21 should be held liable or at fault if something does happen to them. So that's a big thing. Effective prevention strategies, obviously. We should, like I said, build good partnerships with our schools, churches, or faith-based communities, or law enforcement, healthcare, public health to reduce use. Doing this, we should be able to provide like educational classes or some kind of help to let individuals know the consequences or the things that could potentially happen because of excessive binge drinking. Again, if you're over the age of 21 and you can drink responsibly, that's fine. Obviously, you don't want to get behind the wheel of a car. You don't want to do stuff that, could potentially put yourself or others' lives in danger. And then say you want to monitor, report, like I said, the frequency, intensity of drinking. Mainly, we just want to make sure that we, as an individual, do our part to not influence others to drink. And we also, like I said, we want to make sure we are being responsible with our alcohol consumption. If you do drink, obviously don't drive, stay home, stay at a safe place. But again, these are just some effective strategies that we can do as a society and obviously as an individual to prevent binge drinking and prevent the harm and some of the fatal consequences that could come along with drinking or obviously binge drinking. Again, I'm Candace Fry, and I hope this has been an enlightening little segment for you to know what binge drinking is, who it affects, and obviously the risks that come along with it, and obviously some ways that we can help as a society and as an individual prevent binge drinking and the consequences that could potentially come along with it. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a great day.